was no election populism, no freebies and sops as one might have expected in an election year budget, because in her sixth budget, Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, stuck to fiscal prudence and kept the focus on four pillars: social welfare for youth, women, farmers, and also the youth, because both the finance minister and later the prime minister seemed very confident that the government will return to power. Perhaps that's why it was focused on creating a futuristic budget rather than one which would reap short-term political gains. One of the biggest takeaways of this budget is that the government is out what the budget has for us.
So as you know, this is an interim budget ahead of the elections, which is what you should expect in an election year. So the full budget will really come out in July. But what the Honorable Finance Minister has tried to do is to signal very clearly our commitment to macroeconomic stability and continuity. So first of all, if you see, there has been no populist freebies that have been announced to appeal to voters. This is a signal that this government is a serious government that believes in maintaining macro stability. So if you look at the fiscal deficit estimate for this current year, it's about 5.8%, which is lower than the one in the budget. My own sense that it will be even lower, somewhere in the 5.5% range, given what the numbers we have till December. But anyway, the point is the fiscal deficit will come in at somewhat better than what was budgeted last year. And looking forward, it will go down further to 5.1% of GDP, which is a further consolidation, suggesting again that macro stability. So this is the first clear thing that is being signaled, that this government believes in serious commitment to macro stability. The second thing that is being clearly signaled is continuity on the supply side with investments in infrastructure and capex. This is, of course, again been true for some years now, but again, that is being emphasized. For example, in the railways, bogies are going to be upgraded using the Vande Bharat format, and so on and so forth. So again, signaling very clearly commitment to investing in infrastructure. The third commitment that comes through very clearly is the commitment of taking some of the fiscal resources and directly aiming it at supporting the very, very poor. So this is about targeting absolute poverty, extending various schemes that already exist, whether it's the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana or the health schemes to Anganwadi workers and so on. So again, a commitment to providing a bottom of the pyramid safety net to the very, very poor. So all of these things come through very clearly in the budget.
Now, Mr. Sanyal, once again, we have seen an increased allocation for capex, which many believe is very critical for job creation. But are you concerned over the pace of private investments, including private capital expenditure?
The commitment to the capex is not because it is the idea is to compensate for the lack of private investment. In fact, private investment, if anything, is beginning to accelerate quite quickly. The commitment to public infrastructure spending is a part of our unapologetically supply-side view of economic management. We believe India needs more infrastructure, and the time to build it is now. And so you have seen in recent years a very big rollout of infrastructure spending, and we will continue to do this. This is not about some Keynesian management of demand. This is our commitment to the supply side.
Also, Sanyalji, while there is a temptation in every budget to seek income tax relief, is there resistance largely due to the introduction of the two different regimes? Because is that flexible enough as far as the government is concerned?
Well, as I said, this is an interim budget. It's possible that changes will be made in the July budget. The main purpose of this budget is to do a vote on account. And I think the Honorable Finance Minister merely wanted to signal that we are not a government that does freebies and populist things ahead of an election. So I think that is the main signal that is being given, is that, look, we will hold things steady through an election cycle. If changes need to be made, we will make them when the appropriate time comes.
Also, Mr. Sanyal, this time there is no change in the income tax slabs. Let's shift our focus on the disinvestment as well. How concerned are you about what many believe is a slow pace of disinvestment? Because 60,000 crores is good target to have, but about half of what is met.
Our approach on disinvestment is not just about trying to fill the coffers. In fact, as I said, with tax revenues doing well, there's no real pressure to do disinvestment for revenue garnering reasons. The reason disinvestment, in fact, privatization is being done, or listing of companies is done, is in order to unlock value, particularly in areas where the private sector would do better running some of these companies, like in the case of Air India. So the idea here is a different one, which is basically to unlock value of resources that are stuck in the public sector. This is not about trying to do a budget balancing act, which, as I said, we are now under no pressure to do it, given that tax revenues are reasonably strong.
Right, Mr. Sanjeev Sanyal, many thanks for speaking to Times Now.